Welcome. In this episode, we are excited to catch up with Catherine Davis of Organized by Catherine and to hear how her business is doing despite the effects of COVID-19. Catherine has been a client with the Business Advisory Centre, BACD, and a participant of the Starter Company Plus program. BACD strives to be the go-to business resource for individuals looking to start or grow a business in the Durham region. We are one of 53 centers around Ontario. Our mission, that entrepreneurs we serve achieve business success. You are invited to visit our website at bacd.ca to learn more. Organized by Catherine grew from Catherine's passion for making spaces organized. When she walks into a cluttered space, she cannot help but think of ways to improve it. Messy spaces cry out for organization because they are stressful and energy draining. Her goal is to help her clients love their space again. Catherine is currently a member of the Durham chapter of the Professional Organizers in Canada and is a member of the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade. She is a 2020 nominee for a Business Excellence Award with the Ajax Pickering Board of Trade. Congratulations, Catherine. She is an avid supporter of Canadian Blood Services, having donated blood over 90 times. Catherine is married, has 2 children, and proudly calls Ajax home. Please help me welcome Catherine. Catherine, I'm so excited to catch up with you today. I know that we reached out and we did an interview about a year ago. You were interviewed by our executive director, Teresa Shaver. And at that time, you were just in the startup phase. You had completed the program and you were starting out with your business. March came around and pandemic hit, everything started changing. So first I want to open up with, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, what you do and who you serve, please. And then we'll go into, and then what happened?
Sure. So I'm a professional organizer. I'm self-employed, and people hire me to come into their homes and their businesses and take something that isn't working for them and make it better. So I look at the space and I have to work with whatever they have. So usually it's a storage issue where they're just trying to get so much stuff into a limited space and they just need help organizing that. And I just have a gift for looking at a room and making it better. So that's essentially what I do in a nutshell.
Perfect. And where do you typically serve? Like what location are you operating out of?
I live in Ajax, but I serve the GTA. So I have gone as far as I have a client in Brampton this week. It's a little bit further than what I typically go, but usually it's east of Yonge Street and Durham region. I'm all over the place. I'm mobile.
Perfect. And with the certain times. So now this is how I like to lead up, because that's the whole thing. You had started your business, things were starting to build up momentum. You actively started participating in and becoming part of organizations, part of the community, building up a presence for yourself. And then COVID. So March, what was happening in March and how did lockdown and everything else affect you? What did you have to do to keep the business going?
Yeah, that was really scary because I was working with a few people in March and then we weren't sure if I should keep coming to service them because there was sort of mixed messages from the province. Were we supposed to go out? Were we supposed to stay home? And then it became a total shutdown. And it was like, oh my gosh, I was in the middle of jobs. I had to leave people hanging with, work that was incompleted, which is never something I would do. So it was a very scary time and we just kind of withdrew and I thought, well, I'm still open. I have to keep marketing. So that was what I did for March and April and May until we could go back, until the province said you're allowed to go. It was just, wow, I have my laptop and here I am. I'm still open for business, but I can't work. So marketing, I just turned to marketing, it's like, okay, now I'm going to learn something because I got time. We all had time, right? We had too much time on our hands. So it was like, okay, I need to learn a few things for my business. I needed to learn Canva. And so it was like, okay, I have no excuse now. I have a month off. I have a forced vacation. So I learned Canva and I needed to brush up on my Instagram. So I was like, okay, now I'm going to learn Instagram. Now I'm going to revamp this. Now it was like, I just gave myself a list of business projects to do. And that became part of my job. Since I wasn't working for a client, I was going to be working for myself for the next little bit. And it's still that way. If I ever have time off, it's turn back into the business. And what can I do with this day off? What can I do with this afternoon off? What can I get accomplished this week or this month or this quarter? You have to turn inwards on the business, and that's what I did.
Right. So you started focusing a lot more on the business. As they're saying, sometimes when especially as sole proprietors, we can get caught up in being in the business. So the technical side, the technician in it, the doer. And as much as you're doing by this opportunity, you started to work on your systems and your processes. And like you said, learning some of the tools that help you really run a more effective and efficient business. So good on you for you utilizing that time in such a way. So when things did open up come July, June, etc., did things shift? Like, were you finding that clients were now asking, because we hear this now that we're still very much the choice is ours. For some people, it's become a permanent solution. Were things shifting where people were going, you know what, we really now need that extra space, or we now need to utilize this space differently? Have you seen that? And was that something that you've been able to help with?
Totally. I called all my commercial clients and they were like just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. So it was like, okay, I have to pivot my business now. And the best pivot was to go back to homeowners that needed help with their space, because now we're all stuck at home and we're working from home and we're dealing with kids from home, and we need to maximize what we have at home, because this is where we're probably stuck here for the winter. So that became the pivot of my business. Okay, now we're going to take what you got to live with and we're going to turn it into something great. That was. I also had to offer packages. I had to have a less expensive starting point so that people who wanted to try me out could. I started a try me package that was a good way to get into meeting somebody and get them to try my services at a lower price point, and it sort of opened the door for bigger things. But offering a lower introductory package was something that I think because a lot of people are stressed and they don't know how much they're going to have to draw on their savings and if their job will last. So you're competing for their dollars, and you have to sort of think of a better way to do it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And you touched upon some of those things, that uncertainty. And I think a lot of people are in that position right now, because as much as we're hopeful, is it uncertainty? Are we facing reality in what's coming down? So I'm curious, from a business person perspective, what are it's a great question I have here. What are some of the lessons you would like to share with others when facing uncertainty? Because you certainly have had to face some of your fair share of that.
Yeah. Don't give up on your marketing. Mm-hmm. I'd say that's people need to know that you're out there. And I gave up on my marketing for a little bit. I just kind of withdrew into myself. And one of my clients called me and said, "Oh, I thought you were out of business because I haven't seen you online." Mm-hmm. And I was regularly appearing online and creating videos, and I disappeared for about a month, I guess, in a little bit of a depression due to COVID and uncertainty, and scared. And I said, I got to get back into this. I don't feel like doing this, but I got to get back to it, because customers, my existing customer thought I was out of business. So what are all the people that don't know me going to think? They're just going to think I folded. So it was like, I got to get back. And you just have to market yourself. You got to attend networking. You just got to do it. You have to be an online presence, and you have to be a physical presence for marketing events.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that you say that too, because the realization that actually a lot of these events, the opportunities to network, etc., yes, the platform has changed, but they still exist. And it's to find them and really, like you say, be present, even if it's over a virtual or online experience. The need is still there. So that's wonderful. And to shout it out, we're open, if anyone's looking, because people are looking. That's excellent. And I think to wrap this up, because I would love to learn a little bit more about this, what would you say is your superpower? What is Catherine Davis's superpower?
I look at things that other people consider a disaster and I go, I can do it. So if people walk into an office that just looks chaotic, like a windstorm hit it, and they're like, oh, this is hours or months or weeks of me doing this. I can't do it. I don't know where to start. And I just look and I go, okay, I can start. And I just have that ability to see it organized, tranquil, perfect. And then I just start somewhere. Whereas other people might shy away from it because it's too big a project or they're fearful. I just dig in. So that's my superpower, being able to dig in and not be afraid of a big job. Big jobs don't scare me. I just think, wow, I can transform that. You know?
Yeah, and I'm sure your clients appreciate it too. Catherine, thank you so much for sharing with us today, for sharing some of your tips, for sharing a little bit more about what you do and how you help transform people's lives, and for really sharing how you've been able to overcome some of the challenges that have presented themselves now with COVID-19. But you're still going, you're still open for business. So to learn more about Catherine Davis, please check out her website. To learn more about BACD, please visit us at bacd.ca. Thanks again. Until next time, stay safe, stay well.